This is the PNWild podcast.
Smoke him, dude. Reload.
Welcome back, everyone, to the PNWild podcast. This is a very special podcast, wouldn't you say there, Patty?
I would say so.
All
what
right.
are we doing, Mr. Jeffrey?
Today, we are actually doing type of a sort of a double header here. We're going to have a YouTube video.
A hybrid.
A hybrid. So this is a podcast coming at you guys. This is Monday prior to Highbuck. It's September 14th.
Yep.
Patrick is here. He is ready to go in on a, how many day, Pat?
We are packed up for a 9-day hunt.
9-day backpack Highbuck hunt here in the state of Washington.
What's one of the most common questions we get?
Where do you guys go?
What's the next most common question we get? Behind where do you guys go?
Well, what kind of gear do you guys take?
Yeah, what are you taking?
Yeah, what do you guys take? And this is what this podcast / YouTube video is all about. Bob's running the camera, so we're going to have a YouTube video. So if you guys are listening to this, please head over to our YouTube, and you'll literally see every item that Patrick is talking about right now on our table, on our review stage. Go to youtube.com, go to PNWild, and then you'll see this video. It'll probably be called Highbuck Pack Dump, something like that. But Patrick is ready to go through every item in his pack for 9 days for a Washington mule deer Highbuck hunt. So without further ado, I'm going to hand the mic over. Excuse our cluttered table here if you guys are watching this on YouTube. Patrick is got a microphone in front of him, and he's going to be going through every item right now. Take it away, Pat. Enjoy this episode, guys. I know it's a little bit different, but we're going to do some different shit because it's our podcast and we can do different shit. So
precisely. So I'm counting on you guys to be critical of everything that I'm loading in here. So I want to hear some input from you guys as we go along here. But the things that are on the table right now are things that I will have on my person. These are not in my pack. So these are the only items that are not included in the weight that I will tell you guys of my total pack weight for 9 days in the backcountry of Washington. Very first, probably the most important, is the rifle, right? We're there to try and kill something, and the rifle is the way we're going to do it. So this is the Tika Veil. Wide land camo pattern. It is, well, we're going to have a podcast about it. You'll learn all about it next week. But this one is chambered in 7mm Remington Magnum. It has a Vortex Razor AMG. It is the 6-24 on top of it. And it is sitting in Vortex Pro rings. It has the convenient Spartan Precision bipod on it. This is their Spartan Light, so it is non-adjustable as far as length goes, but it is also super duper light. So I'll be able to carry that just in my pocket or something and be able to throw it on when I need it. This gun, I'm shooting the 168 grain Nosler AccuBond. Has proven to be very deadly so far. I've actually used the Nosler AccuBond for a few years. I used the 160 grain in the past. I've been liking the 168 as well. I usually run one of these little covers on my scope. So it goes on like so. And it just keeps it so that when you're packing in, you're not knocking it around on stuff. It's convenient. But that pretty much covers the rifle. So let me get this down. I will hand this over to Mr. Jeffrey. Next will be my bino harness. This is something I wear the whole time we're out. This is the marsupial fully enclosed bino harness. I have inside of it the Razor UHD 10x42s. In the front here, I have hearing protection and some cordage, both of which are convenient. I have found that taking the time to throw hearing protection in is very nice. I have the rangefinder pouch on the side. I have the Razor 4000 rangefinder. Has proven to be an awesome rangefinder. And I definitely, I want to say I've gotten like hits out to like 2,600 yards or something with that thing. And then I have one of these zippered pouches on the side as well. I have 2 extra 168 grade nozzler AccuBonds just in case I need them. And I have the Kestrel 5700 Elite. So that's doing some of the work as far as our ballistics go. I will put the bino harness aside. Next are the things I'll be wearing in. I have orange is required in the state of Washington, so I have a generic Cabela's fleece orange vest. I've had good luck with that. I have my Vortex Optics reversible beanie. Not that I'm going to get cold while I'm hiking, but I keep this out and handy because you stop for lunch or whatever, you might get cold. This year, I've been running these Adidas like synthetic boxers. In the past, I haven't really worried much about boxers, but these are like pretty nice. I've enjoyed for me, synthetic is nice. I have one of my favorite additions for this year from the Vortex lineup, which you would not guess, is the Vortex socks. I've actually like really enjoyed these Vortex socks. I'm not going to take 2 in. I just have 2 with me. I'll just wear 1 pair of socks while I'm out.
So Bob here, he's off the screen. Can't see me, but I'm on the other end. How many pairs of extra socks, underwear, t-shirt do you plan on bringing?
So I'm only bringing 1. I'm bringing 1 pair of socks, 1 t-shirt, 1 pair of boxers. Every year that we've done high buck, I've only ever taken 1, and I've always been fine. So I'm just going based off experience.
Yep.
Last piece. This is new to me this year. This is I need to look at the label. And of course it doesn't say. I'm pretty sure this is the Core lightweight hoodie from Sitka. And it's just a super thin, hooded, thin, like breathable synthetic shirt. The reason I really like this is I got sunburnt like a lot.
You get burnt pretty dang easy.
I burn very easily. And so I'm using the long sleeves and the hood to try and keep from getting burnt as much. And then my pant for this whole trip will be the Sitka mountain pant. I've owned this pant previously. This is a new pair for this year. And I'm a big fan. They're a little thicker, so they keep you warm if it's colder. But I find that they still breathe well and they're ventilated, so you can open up some vents and cool down. But definitely a perfect pant, I think, for this occasion. My phone scope, I have, you'll see my glassing system, but this year I got the adapter to the Vortex UHD binoculars. This is in the pile of stuff that will be on me because my phone will be out of its normal case and in the phone scope case for the entirety of the hunt. I have my Black Diamond Z pole. These are the carbon Alpine Z poles. So they are the style where they have no levers, they have no locks, they have nothing to fail. It's just this, you just put it together. And these for me this year, because of the shelter that I'm taking, which I'll talk about in a minute, these are the pole. This is how my shelter stays up. So if my shelter is set up, I will only have 1 pole available. So let's say my shelter's set up and I'm packing meat, I'll only have 1 pole for when I'm packing meat. But it's a small price to pay to have a lighter shelter and have my trekking pole pull double duty as also a part of my shelter system.
Yeah, I've never packed in trekking poles, but I think I might try it this year because I have them. And they seem to benefit you when you're packing heavy, at least, so might as well bring them.
I really enjoy having them when I'm heavy. I definitely find that they're helpful. I know you've said in the past, and it is true, they do take up your hands. So say you find yourself in like a weird scenario where you need to just grab onto something. I do find that I end up in those scenarios.
The loops.
Just hanging it and just letting go. And then that way I have my hands free and available. New to me this year as well is the Kenetrek Guide Ultra. And this is like, from what I understand, the tread is deeper and the compound is harder, so it's meant to last longer on the tread. It has these reinforcements on the sides. So you have like I call it bionic ankles, because like there's just no way you're gonna hurt yourself as far as ankles go. And it's the same profile as the Mountain Extreme, so it's a fairly tall boot, but I have found it to be very similar as far as footbed goes to my hard scrabble hiker.
And you're leaving those at home this trip?
Yep, as I have decided. So I've been hunting in these Guide Ultras here, even in August, for all but one hunt. I think I wore the hard scrabble, and I'm going to leave the hard scrabbles at home.
That's
this time.
your new go-to.
This is my go-to. So I'm gonna be leaning on the Guide Ultra, and I think it's perfectly fit for a hard mountain hunt with lots of elevation and preferably, hopefully, lots of weight.
Yeah, they look solid.
So I'm going to take a moment here and swap everything, guys. We'll be right back with the remainder of my pack.
All right.
Okay, so we swapped all of the items out that I'll be carrying on my person. And just so you know, going from here forward, every item that I have in my bag, I have weighed actual weight. So as I was packing it, I had a kitchen scale, and I was measuring each item. I did not measure the items that I will have on my person or that I'll be carrying in my hand, because frankly, I just don't count those as being part of that weight. So let's get into it. On the outside of the bag, I will have my rifle will actually be mounted in the Exo Mountain Gear rifle carrier, and then these straps here, these horizontal straps on the back, will hold it down. They will also hold down my tripod and the Kestrel. So I'll start out with the glassing system.
Sorry to jump in here. Did you already state the bag size?
Yeah, so this is the Exo Mountain Gear 4800. So I know Bob and Jeff decided to go with the 6400 for their. I tend to be a little bit more trim on both bulk and weight, and so for me, the 4800 works for even a long hunt. The glassing system, my tripod is 2 pounds and 7 ounces. The Kestrel here, this for my 10 by 42 is only 6 ounces, and then right under here, this year, because I'm taking 18s, I had to get creative, but right underneath the lid, I was able to just perch my 18s inside of there. And the 18 by 56 Razor UHDs are 2 pounds and 12 ounces by themselves. So that's a heavy set of binoculars, but between a lighter weight tripod and binoculars as opposed to a spotting scope, I'm getting a pretty good weight savings there. If I move on, next I have my water bottles that are on the outside. These are both the PNWild brand water bottles. I have the 32 and the 48. The reason I am running not both 48s is because my water system is the SteriPen. I'll get into that here in a minute, but you do have to have 1 liter bottle because that is the amount of water that the SteriPen can I keep wanting to say filter, but it's not filter, sterilize at one time.
Treat.
Yep, treat. As well, on the outside of the bag, I have my ass pad, which is important. Keeps you dry, keeps your butt dry, and keeps you a little bit warmer.
The Thermarest Z seat.
That's the Z seat, and the Thermarest Z seat, and a couple of other items. I want to say, yeah. So I did throw them on the scale. My scale literally did not register. So they are like number of grams, right? So in which case I didn't even add them to the list, so I don't know what the Z seat weighs. It's very, very light. You'll trust me because it's Velcro, but on the left-hand side, I have my accessory pouch on the belt of my Exo Mountain Gear, and that has 9 rounds of 168 grain Nosler AccuBond. And on the right-hand side, this is usually where I put my phone, and this is also where I put my ND filters for my camera. So that's one thing that I access very often is ND filters for shooting video, and then as well, my phone is nice to have in there as well. If we get into the body of the pack, open up the top here, we have MSR IsoPro gas can. It is the giant variety. Because,
I was just going to say you went with the big bitch.
Well, no,
big
I
dog.
could not find the smaller ones right now. They're exceedingly difficult to find. And I just converted over to MSR.
So what you're saying is I don't need to bring my Jetboil.
Yeah. No, you're still bringing your Jetboil.
I know.
But the MSR, I just switched over to MSR this year. Typically, I have like 8 cans. The problem is I like to try to use, like if it's a Jetboil that I'm using,
yeah.
I try and use a Jetboil can. In this case, I tried to find the smaller MSR cans that fit inside of my cook system. I couldn't find them anywhere. So let me see here. My cook set, this one fuel canister is 1 pound, 5 ounces, which is not ideal.
That's
that is
fucking
very heavy.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever. I know for a fact this will get me through the whole trip.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I got a pound more in peanut butter.
Yeah. So,
You're bringing peanut butter again?
Yep.
Oh,
good for you, Bob.
Yep.
Good for you. Stick to your guns, bud. So I had them all weighed out in groups, but then the way you pack them is not in groups. So it is what it is. I have the glassing mitt.
Brooksdown glassing
The Brooksdown glassing mitt from First Light. This is definitely my favorite First Light piece. Worked very well in Colorado for me last year. And I'm just it's one of those where it's so light and so small, it's silly not to bring it. It's a piece of cake. I also have
You're bringing booties?
my down booties. Well, so in the past years, I've brought Crocs, right? And these booties, they have like rubberish material on the bottom. So my thought is these will replace Crocs because they're kind of like a camp booty. That's literally what they're called, is the camp booty. Yeah. And it'll make
Made
it
by
so
Exped.
that yes, it'll make it so that when I'm at camp, I can just hang out and wear these things.
I am currently adding that to my list.
You're adding that to your list?
Yeah.
Okie doke. My first insulation piece is the Kelvin Light hooded jacket. This is one of my main insulation pieces. I mean, I use it a lot. I really like that style. I like a hood on my insulation piece because if you're cold or getting cold, it's always nice to have a hood. And this is one of those, it's synthetic, so it'll hold up in the rain or if it gets wet. It's not down, which sure, it's not as warm and it doesn't pack down as well as down, but it does work better in moisture. So I weighed, Bob will tell you, and Jeff's seen as well, my titanium cup that goes on the bottom of a Nalgene. I have like a titanium coffee cup. Well, I weighed it in comparison to this cheapo Coleman plastic cup, and this is actually a savings of like 2 ounces on the titanium cup.
Wow.
So I decided to just go with this little plastic.
2 ounces?
And so that's just your coffee cup.
This is just going to be my coffee cup.
Got
Yeah, I'm not like, this thing doesn't weigh 2 ounces. It's a savings of 2 ounces.
yeah.
So I want to say, yeah, so actually it is 2 ounces. I'm sorry.
Wow.
This coffee cup is 2 ounces. And the cool part is the titanium one always bothered me because it would burn my hand. Because titanium, it like moves heat very, very well. So it was always super hot. This will work a lot better for that. So that's the coffee cup I went with for this year. I have the Sitka Mountain Jacket, which is just like a windbreaker, light rain jacket. It's kind of just like, I know I used the Corrugate Guide jacket from First Light a lot of the same ways that I use this. It's just something, it's light enough that you can wear it almost all the time. And it's just like good abrasion resistance. It keeps you from, getting cut up or whatever. This is the Sitka Cloudburst. So this is my rain jacket. Bob and I learned,
think already this is the most clothing I've seen you bring.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure it is. I'm
proud of you, dude.
Bob and I learned very, very quickly last year how important our rain gear was. And I learned last year that having like the ultralight rain gear is probably not a good idea.
It comes back to bite you in the ass if you have to spend 5 days in it.
Totally.
It's very obvious.
I didn't have the ultralight rain gear, so I had like the Seek from First Light.
Yeah, Bob had the Vapor Light.
Yeah, which is a fantastic, and I don't think Bob ran into any issues with his.
It's a lighter rain jacket, but I didn't have any issues.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. I just know, like, when I was standing around in the rain, getting wet for 10 hours a day, 8 hours a day, I was very happy to have a good rain jacket. Mm-hmm. So I made sure to get a good one. Let's see what we pull out here next. Next is the MSR. I mentioned that I switched to MSR this year. This is the MSR reactor stove. Typically, the smaller style of fuel canister will fit in here with the Element. This time, it did not because I had to buy the gigantic can. So, but I will say this MSR reactor has proven to be a fantastic stove. It boils incredibly quickly. The weight on the MSR reactor is 14 ounces. So it's really actually very light given its size.
Yeah, I don't know what the Jetboil weighs, but I will verify that stove has got to be the best one.
Yes, yeah, I'm a huge fan of that stove. I'm pretty sure this is the last clothing piece. This is the Traverse Tee. So this is once again, like kind of an all-day item. Like if it's cold enough, you can just wear this all day long and hunt in it. And it's like a perfect sleeping layer. Like if it was a super chilly night, I could definitely sleep in that.
So this is your full system is Sitka. You're head to toe Sitka. You're not doing Arc'teryx this year. It's full Sitka.
I'm not. Yeah. So even my pants are gonna be Sitka this year because I got the mountain pant on.
I think the only thing is those Brooks gloves.
The glassing mitt. Yep.
First Light.
And for Colorado, I'm looking at getting the Sitka. They make a mitt. It's the GTX mitten, which is like a crazy. It's kind of like the Ninja Turtle gloves from First Light.
The Grizzly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the Grizzly from First Light. So it's just a super robust, like crazy. You could just stand out in a blizzard all day long and be okay. Next is, in the pack, is food. I'll go over one food bag and show you guys what I bring.
So you got 9, 10, or one. You got 9 1-gallon bags that are all identical. So that's why you said you're just going to go through one bag.
They're pretty dang close. The meals are there is a variety, right? Because I don't want to eat the same meal every day.
Yeah.
So the calories go up and down just slightly with the meals.
How many different meals did you do? 3 or 4?
I did like 6 different styles.
Oh, wow, okay.
Because I have, I think every peak offering, and then I have a couple of other brands as well.
Got it.
I have a good variety as far as meals go.
How are you liking the peaks?
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, Bob and I both had a bunch of the peak refuels for last year on High Buck. Mm-hmm. And then I've used them a bunch this year already, and they're fantastic. Tuna fish, absolutely, at this point, has become a staple for me.
Mm-hmm. Only downside is by the end of the trip, it gets a little stinky.
Yeah.
Again, guys, if you aren't watching the YouTube, Patrick is holding everything up to the camera.
Yep.
So if you're listening right now, be sure to come back to the YouTube channel, and you guys can get an exact view. What was that first tuna can?
So this is the lemon pepper from Tuna.
It's in a pouch, not a can.
Yep, it's just a pouch.
Okay.
It's super lightweight. It is 80 calories and 17 grams of protein.
Perfect.
So not bad. It's usually I end up eating this as like a late morning snack.
Sure.
Usually pre-nap.
Yeah.
This is my pre-nap.
Sure, yeah.
And then I have breakfast for me, which is a Rice Krispie treat. Almost every day, that's just what I eat for breakfast. A little sugar bump, I guess. I have
fucking Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts. They instantly fall to pieces. So like these are crushed right now because I've already loaded them in my pack.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I just open the wrapper and just pretty much like pour them in.
Sure, yeah.
I usually drink them
Same calories, crushed or not.
Exactly. I usually drink them with my coffee.
Yeah, next he's got his coloring book.
Yeah. His juice pouch.
No. Next is my Airheads, Bob.
Oh yeah. Fuck, there you go.
I got
And then we jump in the ball pit.
I got 3 Airheads. And then I have my store brand Great Value lemonade packet and store brand Great Value energy electrolyte watermelon limeade.
There you go.
So
Kangaroo song.
yep. And then I found these. I found Kodiak cakes. I've never found them before.
I tried one of those, didn't I, last weekend?
I think so. They're good. This version, the peanut butter, is better than the other version.
Okay.
The other one is dry.
It is.
The peanut butter one is not dry because it has peanut butter on it. But that's okay. I'll survive. Top ramen, of course, for lunch every day. And then in this particular packet is chicken pesto pasta from Peak Refuel, which is a fantastic meal. I love it. And then the last is just a Jack Link's beef stick. So for me, that is, I do not have the calories added up. I didn't add them up only because I know from experience that is what I need for a whole day of food.
Yeah, for me, I'm just slightly over 3,000 for the day.
Yeah. I truly didn't even add it up. I would say I'm definitely probably half that.
You think that's it?
I would think because like
That
the
meal's
meal
probably got 8 or 9.
This is well, I guess the meal's it's 920 calories
There
by
you go.
itself. So yeah, it would add up quick. I'm probably at that 2,000 calorie mark. I would think, but it works for me.
Yep. It's all that matters.
We'll go ahead. I'm going to clear out this food, clear out the stuff we got out of the bag. We'll be right back. So real quickly, guys, the water system, before I move on, the 1 liter Nalgene full of water is 2 pounds and 8 ounces as I measured it. The 1.5 liter Nalgene is 3 pounds, 12 ounces as I measured it. And then I have as well with me this year, I'm bringing 2 platypus. They're these tiny little plastic deals. One is a 2 liter and the other is a 1 liter. So it's 3 extra liters of capacity that I have. These 2 together only weigh 1 ounce. So as far as empty goes, they're super light, super small. They pack down to nothing. And I know every year we run into water capacity issues.
I'm adding that to my list. See, I'm learning too, folks.
So it's one of those deals where just like for 1 ounce, and these things are cheap. They're $10 or whatever. You are just increasing the ability.
I'm sitting here trying to spell platypus.
Platypussy.
I will normally have 2.5 liters in my Nalgenes, right? Because I have a 1 liter Nalgene and a 1.5. Here's an additional 3 liters that I can carry. So let's say we realize we have to drop elevation to go get water. I'll be able to fill up, have 3. I will have 5.5 liters that I can carry with me at any given time, which I think is a huge advantage. That's probably 2 or 3 days worth of water if I ration it real tight. So those just live out here in the stretchy pouch because I don't know. I usually don't run anything else out there. These are the stakes for my Luxe Mini Peak. The shelter system is right here. So these stakes are 4 ounces with the bag. So that's 4 ounces right there. And then that's the Luxe Mini Peak by itself.
That looks like it's probably the bulkiest item in your pack.
Probably, yeah. I think the shelter is probably is the bulkiest item I'm carrying.
Other than clothing, probably.
Other than clothing and food. Honestly, as far as so I didn't tell you guys the weight of my food, and so my food is 1.4 pounds per day, which gives a grand total of 12.6 pounds for 9 days. Hands down, that's the heaviest thing I'm carrying, especially when I'm going to shed all of that by the end, right? Because the beauty of food is you consume it, you run out, you're carrying wrappers. That's it by the end. So at least, and that's bulk that's going to disappear. I would say that my food easily takes up a 10-inch section vertically in my bag. That by the end, all of that will be gone. It'll just be a trash bag at the bottom, and it'll definitely help with packing on the way out. You always end up, or at least I do, because I always try and fit into the smallest bag possible. I always end up a little tight going in, and then things loosen up as you get to the end of the week. The sleep system, so the Luxe Mini Peak, just the tarp portion by itself for me measured at 2 pounds and 7 ounces. So that's actually a little bit below their advertised weight. I don't know why, but that's why I weigh stuff, is to be able to tell. And then the trekking poles, I did weigh them because technically they're a part of my shelter system. So if I count them like that, they are 1 pound total for both trekking poles. So I guess take that into regard, like if you're comparing it to, say, the Cimarron, which uses a carbon pole, maybe that carbon pole doesn't weigh 1 pound. So you could say that maybe the Cimarron has an advantage in weight. I would argue, though, that because the trekking poles are dual use and I'm using them to propel myself, kind of offsets that weight difference. Next is my sleep system. So this is the Luxe Tyvek sheet. This I have.
Yours is soft.
I sent through the washer.
You know, I sent mine through the washer, and it's still loud.
So this took 6 times.
There you go.
Through the washer. So I can tell you the number.
Washing machine or dishwasher?
The washing machine.
Washing machine. Okay.
For the number of times that it has to go through the washing machine is 6.
Wow.
For brand new. Mine was like brand new, never been used, but maybe twice.
Mine sounds like I'm fucking around on aluminum foil.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you can hear mine's very quiet. So I will not be to blame for these guys not sleeping. I'm not the ones that has sleeping problems. Their pads can be loud. It won't bother me one bit. Next is one place that I definitely don't, I'm not super conservative on weight or bulk, is the Xped down pillow. And I've talked a lot about this. I'm a huge fan of this down pillow. It's soft. That's why. It's so soft. Mine has drool stains all over it, so nobody would want to use it anyway.
Yeah.
But this is a fantastic pillow. It functions basically like all backpacking pillows. It's just far superior because of the texture of it. It's just so soft.
It's down. It's a down pillow.
And I'm sure there's some insulation value to it. I don't know if I need insulation for my head. That's probably like the hottest part of my whole body.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I'll take it.
Gets the coldest, too.
This is the Xped Sill Matte Light is the name of it. For me, it's worked out just fine. I don't need anything like more insulation value wise.
Bob, what are you going to do with your pad?
Yeah, I've had some issues with my Xped. It's had holes. I've patched them. Then after I fixed the holes, it got a tumor in the middle. And then it turned into basically a giant hot dog, so I can't sleep on it.
So you taking Old Blue?
I'm taking my old Thermarest base map.
There you go.
Base camp.
Base camp.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with it. It's a little bulky, but it's actually a little bit lighter than my Xped too. It's just the bulk. It sucks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part.
Well, there you go. I have had fantastic results with this Xped pad. I have an REI pad that's very similar to this. It's like, I think, just a knockoff of the design. And it also has worked great. But this sleep pad is 1 pound exactly. So not bad as far as sleep goes. And then the last piece of my sleep system for this year is it just plumped up a bunch, but it actually gets crazy small. And this is the 0 degree top quilt from Outdoor Vitals. So this has been, I've been using the Outdoor Vitals 30 degree top quilt. I bought both of these right at the start of the season. The 30 degree has been fantastic for August. Obviously, a 30 degree would not cut it for 8,000 feet in September. So I'm going to take the 0 degree, and I think I should be absolutely fine. It's, I'm definitely converted to the quilt. I enjoy it. I love having my arms be free. I love actually being able to create a draft when I want it. Like, I typically sleep really hot, and more often than not, I have issues just trying to stay cool while I'm sleeping. And so being able to like throw a flap up and have half my body exposed is fantastic. And then as far as there's nothing left in the bag itself, so it's just my lid. Now my lid my lid components are in the small pocket on this. I have the Garmin InReach Mini, which for some reason it doesn't show that I measured the weight of, but oh no, I did. 3 ounces. The InReach Mini is 3 ounces as measured right here. I did take the little leash off of mine. I didn't find it to be necessary, so I just ditched it. And then the other thing that lives in the little pocket at the top is my headlamp. This is a Blitzu brand. I don't really know headlamps super well, but this one has worked for me in the past. All headlamps fail, so be sure to bring spare batteries. And if you're hunting with Jeff, bring extra spares because he probably won't remember them. In the large pocket, I have this Atwood 275-pound. It's pretty much a parachute cord, just thinner version of it. Works super well for tying up food or tying up, anything. Tying up your meat, all that stuff, tying it in a tree. And then new for this year for me as well is the SteriPen. This is the Adventurer Opti. So it uses a one single CR123 battery, which is what I like. I have had good luck with CR123s. They don't die as quickly and they have a great shelf life. And then here so this is a 30,000 milliamp hour battery bank that I can use to charge. So I'm carrying cameras and camera batteries. But I can also charge my phone with this or charge the InReach. And then the only thing is you have to remember, one, to charge the battery itself, and you have to remember cables. I use this titanium long spoon from a company called Toaks. As far as I can tell, it's Toaks. I've had the same spoon for like 3 seasons now. Spoon's pretty hard to mess up. So I have these wet fire packets. You just rip one off. You literally light the wrapper on fire, and inside of there is a fire starter that will burn for a while. I think I have like 2 strips of those pretty much. We end up starting fires often. It'll be raining, it'll be snowing, whatever it is outside, and you're stuck midday trying to, even if it's just a morale boost, you may not even be cold. You might just be like, there's nothing to do. The clouds moved in. Let's just hang out and have a fire.
And then just down to safety, just
Absolutely.
being able to start a fire.
Well, I don't know
shit goes
about
south.
this trip, right?
Yeah, this trip, we have a severe burn ban. Half of the West Coast is on fire, but if we got caught in some crazy weather and some snow, and it was going to keep us alive, I'm starting a fire.
Yeah, I'm still going to carry a fire starter no matter what.
It's stupid not to.
Even if there's a burn ban. Also, I will always have a Bic lighter in my pocket, but there's always just a spare in the top of my lid. And then inside, I have this little like Exo Mountain Gear pouch. It clips into the bag itself. And inside of here, this is kind of like an admin pouch. So I have the cable that's required to charge my camera. I have a little tiny iPhone cable. I have my tags in a tag holder. I have interchangeable blades for my Tito TI. I have a lens cloth, a tiny one. I have like half a bottle of ibuprofen because I always end up needing ibuprofen. Spare SD cards. I have 2 large SD cards in my camera, and these are truly just spares. I do not expect to need these, but if for whatever reason I did need them, they are there. So I'm trying out that Pyro Putty. I found like a tester pack with like 4 different colors. I don't know if the different colors do different things or something. Idea. But I've never used the stuff, and I know I've seen it a bunch, so I figured I'd try it. It's small and weighs nothing. I have another spare Bic lighter. And then I have, how many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 AAA batteries for my headlamp, half of which will be for Jeffrey.
That's a lot.
And then I have one CR123 which is a spare for my
rangefinder.
SteriPen actually is why I have it. But yeah, it does fit in the rangefinder as well. That's what my SteriPen uses is one CR123. That's why I'm carrying a spare. But yeah, that's good to keep in mind. If I ever ran out, I could take it out of my rangefinder and put it in the SteriPen.
I believe that's the same battery, yeah.
Perfect. And then one Allen key, which is the one that works for like my camera mount. It works for the uni adapter on my binoculars, and then it also works for
There's a couple miscellaneous
tripods,
things,
that type of stuff. So it's just nice to have. And then the last piece I have in here is Aquamira tablets. So like I've been carrying these since I started backpacking. I've literally never used them because I've never needed them, but I figure they're good to have.
Absolutely.
It's just like a backup.
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea what you even do.
You just drop a tablet in and wait a half hour.
Okay, cool. So just as a backup.
And it's 32 ounces. You drop a tablet in, wait a half hour.
Beautiful. So if I ever needed it, it would be nice to have, and weighs nothing, super compact. And it really is just one of those insurance items that if, for whatever reason, if the SteriPen went down, I don't want to have to hike out just because this is down. I would rather be able to stay in there and say, well, I've got these, Aquamira tablets or whatever that'll last for a pack of them will last for 3 days.
Yep.
Well, now I've extended my hunt by 3 days just by having that tiny little piece. So who knows? Maybe I'll never use it, but
you're relying on an electronic. So at some point, maybe it does go down. You have a backup.
Exactly.
And it's always smart just to have a backup.
Like especially something as important as water, it's definitely a good idea to have a backup. As far as it goes, guys, that is it. That's the entirety of my
Did you mention game bags?
So
Kill kit.
Yeah, good point.
Kill
good
kit?
point. So I showed you the knife, but then down in here, I put them in the hydration bladder. That's why I always forget about them. But this is the High Country Pack from Argali. These game bags we've been using for 2 seasons now. They are fantastic. They're just my favorite game bags by a long shot. I just shove them all the way down in the bottom of the hydration sleeve on my EXO and forget about them, quite obviously.
Until you need them.
Exactly, until I need them, and then somebody will scream out, my hands will be all bloody, and I'll go running into here and getting everything all messy to go get them. But
and did you talk about how you keep your booty clean?
So typically right here, they are not in there right now, but I have a pack of wipes that'll go.
He's not ready to hit the mountain, Bob.
Yeah.
God.
I'll have a pack of baby wipes that go right in the left-hand sleeve. I just always
Get the
put
extra
them in
large because I will forget them.
Sure, yeah.
Perfect.
Once again,
And
Jeff will forget.
Yep.
And should we talk about first aid kits?
Yes. So I am picking those up tomorrow for us. And we were supposed to have another podcast for you guys. My brother is actually a firefighter, EMT, fully trained and outfitted. Actually did some backcountry classes and some guiding in the backcountry for river rafting and all sorts of cool stuff. So we're gonna get him on here as soon as we can. He's super busy with his job and then of course season. But he did put us together. Him and his team put us together like legitimate oh shit kits.
Yep.
I mean down to every piece of
Sucking
med gear.
chest wound bandages.
Exactly,
and
dude. I'm
everything.
talking crazy shit that you could. Us three could save each other's lives, so it's super important. So we're gonna get him on super soon, and then do a podcast and a YouTube video, so everyone out there is equipped with some of these basic knowledge, hot topic items: what to do if your buddy breaks a leg, femur, severe bleeding, all sorts of just crazy shit that could literally happen to us.
Yeah.
And we're going to get them on and kind of go through that. But we will go through the med kits, and we will be carrying those on this hunt.
Yeah. Typically in this pouch in the past,
Yeah.
I have
Med
had
kit.
medical stuff. So I've had gauze, I've had quick clot gauze, 2 of them. I've had tape, that type of stuff. I've taken that all out because in lieu of knowing that we had these med kits coming along.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you don't see any of them here. But that is stuff that I've carried like kind of a bush league version of in the past, like not really enough to get the job done, but it has gotten the job done when we had like minor,
Bob
cuts
sliced
and
his finger to the bone.
but pretty much just Bob cutting himself. That's always what we have to deal with.
Thanks,
Hey,
guys.
he keeps us on our toes, man.
Yeah, he keeps us guessing. He keeps us guessing. But
And I think it honestly is a matter of time before something, maybe not crazy major happens, but something happens where we're going to need to help one another.
Sure.
You
Well,
know?
and just like the Aquamira tablets,
100%,
it
man.
just avoids us having to leave, right? Like then
Exactly,
somebody
yeah.
could get like, a deep cut
Sure.
or something. We know between the three of us, we have enough gauze
Yeah.
and antiseptic stuff to keep it clean and working for 3 days. Then we don't have to say, well, Bob, since you cut yourself super bad, you get to hike out alone.
Yeah.
Right. Then, because then how do you don't feel comfortable saying that, and we wouldn't want to send an injured person out alone. So it's one of those where, of course, you're just going to go out at that point, and it's just, it's keeping you in the fight, right? You stay in the game, and hopefully you can get a win.
Yeah.
And just on that note, be careful with these knives when you're out there in the wilderness.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is freaking
Believe it or not,
scary.
they're super sharp.
Yeah. I
Very
think just
scary.
sharp.
when you're this remote, I think every part of your hunt needs to become a little more careful,
Yeah.
a little more
Sure.
methodical, a little more slowed
When
down.
you're cleaning an animal or something, just do me a favor, slow down.
Yeah.
Because I've
Yep.
told myself that a couple times, and I've cut myself twice.
I think your most recent one just a couple weeks ago was pretty gnarly, dude. Like you're
Yeah.
probably gonna have a scar for the rest of your life.
Oh
don't you
yeah,
think?
it scared me.
Yeah.
If that had been on my wrist, who knows?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, scary stuff, man. So med kit, we all will take one. I think it's very vital. It's kind of like a sidearm in grizzly country. Your med kit's probably not going to be used on you. It's going to be used for your buddy that thereof. Like if he's getting mauled by a bear, he's not using it on himself.
Yep.
You're going to use yours to save him. It's kind of the same thing with the med kit. If I go down and fall off a cliff and I break a leg, chances are Pat's not going to take my backpack off me. He's going to use his kit
Yep.
in his pack, not mess with me or try to find mine if it's off a cliff or it's busted. Bob and Pat will have their own kit, and I think it's very important that everyone that's doing these crazy hunts take this extra time and kind of learn a med kit, reach out to somebody who's in that field, and kind of like what we did with my brother-in-law.
Well, and there's courses as well. Like
There's courses,
if you
there's
don't
tons of
know,
people.
if you don't know somebody, I know like my stepdad is a commercial diver. They have to have remote medical training.
Sure.
And he took a course just out in the North Cascades.
Sure, man.
That's just a local school, and they teach wilderness survival and wilderness first aid.
Yeah.
And it's one of those deals. If you can commit a weekend to it, you can go out and learn everything you need to know.
There you
Yeah.
go. And in the end, really, this is all that matters. Just coming home to your family, just being safe.
100%.
Totally,
So,
yeah. And looking good. Those are the only things that
100%.
matter.
Yeah, staying
at all.
handsome as fuck. But seriously, man, you're just knowing how to apply a tourniquet properly.
Yeah.
Could simply save your life, your buddy's
Well,
life.
it's probably not going to save your life. Like you say, like
Exactly.
those skill sets and those resources are something that's going to save your buddy's life.
Yes.
Which we've always talked about between the three of us.
Yeah.
Is not only important, it's just that we don't want to have to turn to our buddy's wife
Exactly.
and say, I tried,
yeah.
but it didn't work.
Yeah.
Right. Like nobody wants to have to say that. So
Yeah.
it's important to do for those reasons.
Exactly. Well, sweet, man. Any last items tucked in that XO 48? Is that everything?
I think that's everything. That's everything in there. But yeah, so the total weight of my whole system before we
Loaded
go,
on the hoof, walking down the trail.
With
walking down
water?
the trail full of water,
Camera?
full of food, not my camera. I didn't include my camera. I did weigh it. My body is 2 pounds 4 ounces. One of the lenses I'm taking 1 pound 5 ounces, and the other lens is one pound. So I'm sub 5 pounds for the whole camera setup. I didn't really include that because I know typically you guys who are watching or listening are not going to carry a camera necessarily, and if you do, it's probably just your phone. But my entire
Calling them
system.
out.
My entire system, as I hit the trail, is 47.2 pounds.
Not bad.
And like I said, with
Is that rifle in your hand or on your pack?
rifle in my hand,
Okay,
not
rifle
on
in
my
the hand.
pack.
Okay.
And then with 12.6 pounds in food, that drops it down to right around 33 pounds, 34 pounds. Just
It's impressive, man.
camp weight. So that's with even like Jeffrey said, I'm taking a lot more clothes than I typically do this year, but it's because the clothes that I am taking, they're like thinner pieces. In the past, I've taken a puffy, but it's like one big puffy. I definitely have more of a
You have a layering
actual
system.
layering system
Yes,
this time
yes.
around. So it's typically thinner pieces, but it's just kind of, I'm going to have to spend more time transitioning from piece to piece.
I didn't catch a bottom long john, did I? You're just taking them out.
No, yeah,
Only bottom layer.
Yeah, I've in the past, even last year when it was super cold, and then as well for seeing it through, it was super cold as also. I didn't wear a long john once
Or a rain pant.
Yeah, no, I've never taken a rain pant either. I mean, the thing is I've always found when it starts raining, we typically shelter up somehow. Like we're either under a tree or we're, just trying to wait it out a little bit. So
if it's gnarly enough, sure.
Exactly. So I just have never needed a rain pant, and any pant I've ever worn out in the wild is always a quick dry. So even if I were to get wet, it'll dry just with my body heat. And so I've never needed long johns because I just don't get cold as easily. So for me, I don't need that for the bottoms. So my layering system's pretty much waist up.
Got it.
Yep.
Cool.
All righty. Well, this is a weird one, guys. It's a first of its kind. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Kind of roll with these punches if the editing's not 100% perfect, but we're doing what we can, trying to line up this audio with the video. I know we've had tons of requests for it, and there you go. Literally, that's Pat's pack dump for a 9-day backcountry mule deer hunt, from his rifle to his boots to his sleep system to his goddamn lighters and bandages. That is everything. Any last questions, Bob?
Yeah, and mine, Bob's, is on our website at the blog section, so you can see everything that I'm bringing as well.
Yep.
So go check that out.
Perfect. All right, guys. Everyone out there, we want to wish you guys a very happy and successful high buck hunt.
Good luck.
Stay safe, shoot straight, and we will catch you right here next week on the PNWild podcast.
Safety third, always look good.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching this week's video. Feel free to smash that subscribe button and come on back next week for that next video